Hey everybody, I want to give you a few preaching notes for week 1 in our series True Christmas, where we're going to talk about joy. First of all, let me say that for the introduction to the sermon, I'd really encourage you to use the intro video, because the intro video is going to preview the entire series. And so if you show that video, you don't have to do it at the beginning of your sermon. You can show the video and then go right into your sermon. Now, here's how I'm thinking about this sermon. There are 4 reasons why everyone should choose joy. And these grow in intensity. So you're starting with sort of the least intense joy and you're building to the greatest joy. And so that's what we're doing in this message. Also, I'm preaching this the Sunday after Thanksgiving, where we will have some visitors. We'll have some people that don't normally go to church. They go to church with their family. And so I wanted to make a message that would speak to them. And so a lot of the steps to joy, especially the first 3, are really things that everybody can have, even if they don't really believe in God, even if they're not a religious person or a person of faith. But it's really that 4th piece, which is sort of the real uniquely Christian piece of joy. So with that in mind, as you start this sermon, I'd encourage you to ask the congregation to think about a time when they experienced a lot of joy, and then share an experience from your life. Maybe it's a time when you had a lot of joy, or your kids or your spouse or whatever. Have some fun with that, and then get into explaining what joy is, that it's a deep sense of happiness and hope that isn't based on life's circumstances, and it's something that everybody could have. And as we talk about joy, we're not talking about cliche joy. We're talking about real joy, the joy that comes from the Christmas story, not the joy that just comes from greeting cards or ornaments on a tree, but real joy. And that's where the Christmas story comes in Luke chapter 2. So start with that, and then build the 4 types of joy. We're talking about being alive, being able to enjoy the fresh air, like I am right now, being able to enjoy that, enjoying stuff, enjoying having plenty this Christmas, enjoying relationships, enjoying each other, and of course, most of all, enjoying a relationship with God. And so you see how those build in intensity. And in each of those, I'd share personal stories of how this has been true for you, especially in that point about having plenty. That is a point that I really have spent a lot of time thinking about in America. We're so blessed, and so really spend some time to flesh out what it means to have all that we have and how that's a gift from God. And I'm going to show that video from Operation Christmas Child of kids opening their gifts in those shoe boxes. And if you've traveled in areas of the world that are not as blessed as we are, then go ahead and talk about that or show that video. But just there's a lot of good ways to engage people on that topic. And again, the point is to build to the gospel, to build to the fact that the way to have true joy is through Jesus Christ. And so that's what we want to build. We want to remind Christians why they should celebrate because of what Jesus did for them. We want to challenge people who aren't yet Christians to understand that Jesus came to bring them great joy that doesn't involve Santa Claus or Christmas carols or gifts, but involves salvation through Jesus Christ.